This evening on House Home, the National Development Bank joins us with their monthly segment on finance matters. We feature highlights on traditional foods showcased at the Oro and Madang Provincial Days held over the weekend, and an insight on how best you can remove mildew, especially on clothing, saving electricity. And with all the happenings and events taking place within the country as well as offshore, there's nothing like keeping up to date by watching it all on TV. And Jane has some awesome TVs to showcase on Brian Bell. A very good evening to you all and welcome to House and Home. With the cost of goods and services on the rise, tightening of budget expenditure has become quite crucial, not just for various organizations, but especially among average income earners. Saving has become somewhat of a challenge, but it's not to say that it isn't possible. The stricter you are with your expenses, you'll find how far you can stretch your kina, meaning you're able to make some money, last longer, save a little more until next payday. Speaking of finances, we join the team from the National Development Bank.
House Money Talkout is proudly brought to you by the National Development Bank. House money belong to me.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this segment of NDB House Money Talkout. The National Development Bank has a wide range of loan products intended for specific target audiences, which charge an interest rate of 6.5%. Among these is a loan specifically for women offered by the Women in Business Desk. So what is the Women in Business Desk all about, and how does it benefit the women of Papua New Guinea? Let's find out.
The Women in Business Desk was set up in 2010 to assist the women folk of Papua New Guinea start, own and manage small, medium and large businesses through funding assistance. Between 2010 and 2013, 49 million kina has been funded to 590 women SMEs in Papua New Guinea, and with the allocation made for 2014, more women are bound to benefit. At the moment, the National Development Bank has 19 branches around the country, and in every branch there is a Women in Business Relations officer whose sole responsibility is to attend to the needs and requirements of any woman who walks into any NDB branch around the country needing assistance. The loans offered under the two loan products, Startup and Grower packages, have changed the lives of many women around the country, making them become successful and venture into great heights, something they never thought of doing, and attributing their business success to the funding assistance of NDB through the Women in Business Desk. One such person is Hagen woman Lynn Burry, who owns and operates Double Bricks. Lynn ventured into the brick-making business using an old machine purchased in Leh, and seeing that it looked quite promising with the demand outweighing the supply, Lynn set her mind to obtain a bank loan to buy a bigger, faster and more efficient machine.
First lik machine blomi and me at kisim lo lik work blomi finish pay blong and me working. Na me kam blong islam now current one big player mix him long in. And mix him long NDB giving me 100,000.
After obtaining the loan from NDB, Lynn purchased a new brick maker from China, and whilst one would be overwhelmed with this, Lynn was faced with a huge challenge in which she realized NDB's commitment to its clients when giving them loans.
I took sorry, machine, you plan give me money long in the machine stable solver yet, so me no kiss him yet. So you me wait until me kiss him or something. Machine start work, okay, member start loan repayment. Me to call same na bank understand me go through na me help me and to okay me plan understand. Now only give me more time long me can start.
Lynn says this experience has made her a stronger person, and after settling down and with production well underway, all outstanding payments have been settled, and Lynn ensures that her loan repayments are done well before the monthly repayment dates.
Me looking the way and the business give long and interest and lick. Na I'm sa game lo fixed period but me can save start na me yet to finish this la money na or not la bank me no think all bank give this la amount lo me lo some like lo scale lo me me legally me no got 1 plus something lo some guarantee all long me can give this la loan and big la money so NDB understanding me na and give me this la money.
With the new brick maker, Lynn can produce up to 1,000 bricks per day.
Also come lo Enya, also come lo Southern Islands, one also come lo Chimbu. Most of them are around again. Business them come up good through na me at logim na mi amamas, yes.
This includes the process of manually making the mixture and feeding it into the machine. Having the cement mixed and passed through the brick maker, which blots out the completed brick on a conveyor belt. The wet bricks are then laid out in the sun to dry, and once the bricks are dried, they are packed in pellets. 75 bricks in one pellet, sold at 5 kina per brick.
Mimpa na bogen brick da sal meeting di la wogen house na wogen real estate wogen sambla nar la wok tuna meeting di la kambek la NDB because NDB no lusimi em support me em support me em market me promote me wogen mopso mimpa still go back la NDB yet.
Wow, that was really inspiring. And if Lynn can do it, so can you. If you want to find out more about NDB's Women in Business Desk and its loan products, visit any of our 19 branches around the country, and a female staff will be there to assist you anytime. That's how we end tonight's program. But before we go, remember, when you're thinking of starting or growing your own business, think NDB. House money belong Yumi. Until next time, pleasant viewing.
House Money Talkout was proudly brought to you by the National Development Bank. House money belong Yumi.
After the break, we find out best on how you can save electricity. Hi viewers, as you can see I am fully safety geared, checking out the Moitaka PNG power station here at 8 Mile. Well, you may be wondering why we face blackouts or how much power each home consumes. Well, now is the right time to find out more about electricity and also educating ourselves to save power. PNG Power has a history that goes back to the colonial days under the Australian government. The Electricity Commission was officially set up on the 1st of July 1963 with the commissioning of the Sirinumu Dam and installation of generating plant in 12 centres. Work began on the Rana 2 hydroelectric power station and the Moitaka power station nearby Port Moresby in 1964. 2 years later, Alcom commissioned a diesel power station in Goroka, followed in 1968 with new generators in Goroka, Madang, Samarai and Kavieng. Stage 2 of Rana 2 was commissioned in 1969. The World Bank provided a loan of $20.7 million to develop Stage 1 of the Upper Ramu hydroelectric scheme in 1971, which was a second loan negotiated in 1974 for completion of the project. At the time of independence in 1975, all 5 associate commissioners at Alcom were Papua New Guineans, and the utility was fully managed by Papua New Guineans from 1977 onwards. Further expansion of the network followed by 1989, Alcom had 50,000 consumers in various parts of the world. The government-owned utility, PNG Power, operates 19 independent grids and transmission systems as part of its role as a key service provider for electricity in the country. This grid supply power to the national capital, Port Moresby, and to 26 other urban centres. About 115 megawatts are installed or near the national capital, Port Moresby. Total installed capacity of the state-owned utility is around 300 megawatts. There is an additional 280 megawatts generated by other entities that consume power mainly for their own use.
PNG Power was established to provide electricity services in the country, and it also extends out to providing regulatory services on behalf of the ICCC, just to control the regulation of the electricity industry and what electrical appliances should be brought into the country and what type of standard of wiring that we use in our homes and in the buildings. PNG Power generates its own power supply from the Rona hydropower station, and we have the Yonki hydropower station up in the Eastern Highlands that supplies Ley, Madang and the Highlands provinces, and we have the Warangoi hydropower station in East New Britain that supplies Kokopo and Rabaul. And then we have other centers, they operate on diesel. They are run on diesel fuel, what we call thermal power stations. And we only, in Port Moresby, we have the Anjung power station, which PNG Power purchases power supply from. It's under the independent, what they call IPP. IPP is independent power producers. So they sell power to PNG Power, and PNG Power purchases a bit of supply from it. So they provide about 26 megawatts to 24 megawatts, sorry, 24 megawatts to the supply in Port Moresby. Okay, blackouts, they are caused by different issues. We have blackouts which we don't reply to them blackouts, we call them power outages. So power outages, we have planned outages and we have unplanned outages. Planned outages is where people, our linesmen, they carry out maintenance on all the lines or on a transformer. So they do a planned outage where we advertise in the newspapers. And when social media came in, we are now advertising on Facebook, just letting everyone know that there'll be a power outage at the areas. So that's how some of the power outages come on. The unplanned outages are where we have, there's an issue with a line or a power line has fallen off, or natural disaster has caused the power pylon or power lines to fall down and this power supply has been cut off. That will depend on the issue on the power outage. If it's an emergency, say there's a fallen power line, it usually takes about 3 to 4 hours for a line to be fixed. And if there's a power pylon, say from Yonki going on to Ley or Madang or to the Highlands provinces, they are big power pylons. So if there's a power pylon going down, usually depending on the issue, it can take a day or two or even weeks. So it depends on the issue really. It's not how fast people can get it back working. But in cities like Port Moresby, where there's small outages relating to transformers going down, usually it will last about an hour or 30 minutes. So we try as much to limit the turnaround time to 30 minutes. So conserving power at your homes right now is really important because of the situation we have with in Port Moresby especially, with the situation we have with the Siranumu Dam water level going down. So we are encouraging everyone to do the little things that not only during this time, but every time. You turn off the lights that you are not using, you turn off the fans that you are not using, or any rooms that is empty and you don't really need the light, just turn off the lights. Or I will just say, turn off any power supply that you are not using or that you don't really need to use.
This includes power supply from the Hides gas field in Southern Highlands to the Pogara gold mine and 54 megawatts of geothermal capacity utilized by Lihir Gold. The other main area of generation is the Rambu Hydro system, which has 87 megawatts of installed capacity. This is supplemented by standby diesel generators in Ley, Madang, Mendi, Wabag, in Momase and Highlands regions. There is also an additional 12 megawatts of hydro capacity in the Islands region, also supplemented by diesel generation. Anyway, viewers, some ways to guide you save electricity at home may include, when cooking small quantities, use one saucepan with dividers. Don't leave heating or cooling appliances on when rooms are unoccupied. Buy the size you need. Extra capacity uses extra power. Adjust the water level to wash a partial load. Otherwise, it is better to wait until you have a full load, but don't overload your machine. And finally, fill your electric kettle or jug from the cold tap. Running off a lot of cold water from the hot pipes is wasteful and expensive.
And there you have it, viewers. Hope you learned a lot about electricity, because I've learned a lot. Now we know how much power each home consumes and why there are blackouts. So So the next time the power goes off, you'd know why. More on House and Home in a moment, but viewers, always remember to switch off lights, fans and other gadgets that are at home that are not at use. And always remember, don't forget to always save electricity at home. So it's the time of the year again where we will notice a lot of provincial groups showcasing their culture. Not only about where they come from, their bilas, but also checking out their style of cooking, their famous traditional dishes.
We normally eat taro all the time. That's our staple food. We eat sago when we have dry seasons. That's when we make our sago, and we have it when the place is dry. For the taro, we prepare it. We have a clay pot, and we peel the taros, put the taros in the clay pot, and then we have some dried fish. We cook it with the dried fish and tulip greens. We use tulip greens because it gives a nice flavor. And we squeeze the coconut, and then we cream it. And when it's cooked, it's nice. That's how we prepare our taro in the clay pots.
The provinces of Papua New Guinea are the primary administrative divisions of the country. Provincial governments are branches of the national government, and Papua New Guinea is not a federation of provinces. The country has 22 province-level divisions, 20 provinces, one autonomous region, Bougainville, and the National Capital District. Papua New Guinea is located on the island of New Guinea in the eastern half. The country borders to the west with Irian Jaya, a province of Indonesia, and to the north is 160 kilometers away from Australia. Due to the location just to the south of the equator, its moderate tropical climate, Papua New Guinea is heavy on exotic fruits like avocado, papaya, mango, bananas, and Papua New Guinea's cuisine is also heavy on salads and light meals. The staple foods in Papua New Guinea are rice, sago, and cacao, which represents the basis of most local dishes. People from Papua New Guinea mostly cook with dishes in undercovered oven called mumu. Local cuisine from Papua New Guinea is rich in fish, vegetables, and fruits such as passion fruits, pawpaw, and pineapples, etc. Papua New Guinea's cuisine is very influenced by European, Chinese, and Indonesian cuisine. The staple foods in Papua New Guinea are rice, sago, and cacao, which are generally prepared with seafood, chicken, pork, and a large variety of greens. Papua New Guinea's cuisine is very varied. People from Papua New Guinea prefer abundant dishes and food which is well cooked. Papuans have three main meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Yet desserts, snacks, traditional beverages are consumed daily. Papua New Guinea's cuisine vary from cooking traditions, borrowed from their neighbors and developed from their own traditional dishes. While there are no specific or unique preparation methods for Papua New Guinea's cooking, we should point out that attention to details in Papuan cuisine. Using the right amount of spices, for example, is essential either for spicing up the taste or for coloring the dish. The diversity of vegetables and cereals found in Papua New Guinea is also noticed in the delicious dishes belonging to their cuisine. The visual attractiveness of the dish is also important, and a balance between colors and proportions differentiates. Each traditional dish has a special cooking method, which is more or less general in all of Papua New Guinea's regions. Meat is one of the main elements of most Papua New Guinea's dishes, and kua and smoked hams are often parts of delicious dishes. There are many chefs who creatively use the basic ingredients and cooking methods for traditional Papuan dishes and create original and delicious food variations. Papuan chefs are passionate about their traditional dishes, and they enjoy presenting them to and for those who have never tasted them before. Whether they are cooking dishes, they go back in time for centuries, or brand new modern dishes, Papuan chefs take pride in what they do, and this is readily noticeable in the unforgettable taste of their cooking. But apart from all of that, it is the time of the year where Papua New Guineans are gearing up for its Independence Day celebrations, which falls on the 16th of September. But there is always a head start by provinces celebrating their provincial days, leading to the bigger event, where all provinces come together showcasing and showing off their culture. Although months ago, the autonomous region of Bougainville celebrated their day, followed by New Islanders, now we had Oro and Madang Provincial Day celebrations, the two provinces showcasing their culture and their way of living. Papua New Guinea being diverse and unique in so many ways. One way would be their style of cooking and the type of delicious traditional dishes each province prepares to differentiate each other. After the break, we join Jane over at Brand Bell, showcasing a range of television sets to keep you updated on the happenings around the world as well as PNG. Stay watching.
Mr. B.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another episode of House Home with Brian Bell. I'm your host, Jane Tokilawa. Mediums play a big role in our lives today on a daily basis. They act as the storage and transmission channels to store and deliver information. There are so many mediums around you to connect you with the rest of the world. We have books, magazines, newspapers to read, radios for that easy listening, phones, internet service, and televisions to connect you live with current events. TV, as you know, is a very popular medium for us today. It keeps you at home at a certain time just to watch favorite programs. It's very informative and keeps us up to date with current affairs. It gives us the experience to go around the world from the comfort of our living room. It can be used as an educational tool for you, and there are many more benefits of owning a TV. So tonight I will introduce what's new in our Beltronics section, particularly in the Integrity TV range. The brand Integrity was created in the 90s and is purely a Brian Bell brand. The brand name speaks for itself as it carries on the legacy of Brian Bell to provide the qualities of being honest and having strong moral principles. The brand was customized to cater for the affordable range and yet have that quality and standard to meet the ever-demanding and ever-growing PNG market. A very good example would include this 15-inch LCD LED TV, which is the newest addition in the Integrity TV range. I know most of us out there would prefer owning our own TV. This would be perfect for a child's room or for that university student who wants to be kept updated on current events. Or you could even keep it in your office just to watch Melbourne Cup live or anything else that you wouldn't want to miss. You could practically keep it anywhere you like. It features an advanced slim look which will not occupy a lot of space. It's very portable to carry around and has inbuilt speakers. There are some areas where we live that have very poor reception, so if you need an antenna, then do not worry because our staff will assist and recommend the correct antenna for you. In this case, you will require an outdoor antenna for this LCD LED Integrity TV, which our staff will happily assist you with. It features a LED screen. By LED, we mean a light-emitting diodes, which is a 2-LED semiconductor light source. It features a flat panel display screen which uses LED backlighting, which leads to energy saving or less power consumption. So all that simply means is that when in use, it doesn't use up a lot of electricity, which saves you money. You can tell when in use, you wouldn't be able to feel the heat coming off from your screen compared to a standalone LCD screen. Now that's a benefit of this LED screen. If you don't have a DVD player, then don't worry because it comes with a USB port, which makes it a lot easier to hear your favorite music. You can also view your captured photographs and watch downloaded movies. It is also important to connect your LCD LED TV to a power surge rather than direct to a main power source. This is simply to avoid interrupted power cuts which can lead to damaging your TV. Also features a VGA inlet or video graphics array, which can be connected to your data projectors, laptops and computers. So there you have it. Good things really do come in small packages. With an affordable price like that, combined with its latest features, you know you just can't go past this offer. So hurry on down to your nearest Brian Bell Home Centre while stocks last. To conclude, with an affordable product like the LCD LED Integrity TV, you know you can always be kept up to date with current issues. For what it's worth, we've made it even easier for everyone to own a LCD LED Integrity TV through our consumer credit scheme by fortnightly repayments of as low as 15 kina, 17 kina and 24 kina fortnightly. The choice is yours. Now how good is that? And what's even better is that you can turn to us simply because you are backed up by Brian Bell's warranty, service and spare parts. So remember, great products, great prices. That's Brian Bell. Until next time, I'm Jane Tokilala. Have a good night.
Best price, best quality.
Wow,
Guaranteed.
I've learned some new
Brian
terminologies there. High definition multimedia interface and video graphics array. And no doubt, as we advance in technology, we will come across more new phrases to familiarize ourselves with. Well, I speak for myself on that. Thank you, Jane, and we look forward to see you next week on another Brian Bell segment. After the break, we share with you on how best to remove mildew, especially on clothing. See you shortly. At times, we may be worried if we found out our favorite clothes had some form of stains or mildew, and we try to act very fast just to remove such on our clothes. In this segment, we take a look at mildew and a short demonstration on how to remove or prevent mildew from getting on your clothes, and also what mildew does to you and I and our health especially. Mildew is defined as a thin, superficial, usually whitish growth consisting of fungal filaments produced especially on living plants or organic matter such as wood, paper, or leather. The term mildew is often used generically to refer to mold growth, usually with a flat growth habit. Molds can thrive on many organic materials including clothing, leather, paper, and the ceilings, walls, and the floors of homes or offices with poor moisture control. There are many species of mold.
The black mold, which grows in attics or window sills and other places where moisture levels are moderate. The English word was exported into French as mildew and as mildew in Spanish. Mildew can be found on many different surfaces. It is a thin black or sometimes white growth produced by mold. Molds can cause mildew flourish wherever it is damp, warm, poorly lighted, or where air is not circulated. In cellars, crawl spaces of houses without basements, and clothing closets. It can also be found on rugs, in basement recreation rooms, or shower curtains and on damp clothes rolled up for ironing. These molds are also likely to grow in a new house because of moisture in the building materials. As the molds grow, they cause considerable damage. They leave a musty odor, they discolor fabrics, and sometimes they eat into them until the fabrics rot and fall into pieces. They also discolor leather and paper. How to prevent mildew? Keep closets, dresser drawers, basements, and any place where mildew is likely to grow as clean as possible. Soil on dirty articles can supply enough food for mildew to start growing when moisture and temperature are right. Clean clothing is less likely to mildew than soiled clothing. How to get rid of dampness. Mold spores are present in the air and may settle onto surfaces if there is sufficient moisture. A damp basement or any other structure is often caused by moisture condensation from humid air onto cooler surfaces. Excessive moisture can indicate that repairs of additional insulations are needed. Make sure outside drainage is adequate. Dry the air. Properly installed air-conditioned systems remove moisture from the air by taking up warm air, cooling it, which removes the moisture, and circulating the cool, dry air back into the room. In rooms that are not air-conditioned, especially the basement, and when using air conditioners, keep windows and doors closed. Heat. Get rid of dampness by heating the house for a short time. Then open the doors and windows to let out the moisture-laden air. The heat will prevent mildew if the space is not too large. Circulate the air. Air movement is excellent at removing moisture. When the air outside is drier than the inside, ventilation allows the dry air to enter, takes up excess moisture, and then is carried outside. Poorly ventilated closets get damp and musty during continued wet weather, and articles stored in them are to mildew. Try to improve the air circulation by opening the closet doors or by installing a fan. It is often necessary to use some type of exhaust fan. And finally, preventing mildew on clothing and household fabrics. Keep fabrics dry. Never let clothing or other fabric articles lie around damp or wet places. Safety precautions that should be taken. Keep pesticides out of reach of children. Avoid prolonged breathing or pesticide sprays or dust. Wear recommended protective clothing and equipment. Avoid swallowing, splashing in eyes, or spilling pesticides on parts of the body or clothing. And know appropriate antidote to use, and have the telephone number of your local poison control center available for emergencies. And that's all we have for you viewers, the effects of mildew and what it does to your family. And hope you have learned something on the easy steps to follow when preventing or removing mildew from your clothes. And hope it was worth watching. And always remember viewers, clean homes, the better you. More on House and Home in a moment. Welcome back. Now next week on House and Home, our famous chef Viari shows us how to steam chicken wrapped in banana leaves, and we get to see more on best quality buys at affordable prices over at Brian Bell Home Center. This is where the House and Home team and I will leave you, but before I say goodnight, just a reminder on what I shared earlier on the program. With the cost of goods and services increasing, it is quite important that you make money stretch or last longer for yourself and your family. And the only way you can do this is to practice and enforce a tight budget on your expenses. Yes, there may be certain sacrifices you may need to make, but it will be worth it. Also, do something that will help with extra income, like baking cakes and selling at offices or off the markets, even packed cooked food. These little things will help in alleviating those financial burdens.
Here's wishing you a very pleasant evening, and may the remainder of the week ahead be a productive and a satisfied one. Until next week, keep on the journey to a healthier you with those regular exercises, enjoying the outdoors, and keep eating right. Good night.